Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Andy R and this is the Brotherhood of Men, a channel solely dedicated at getting you men out there the best outcome for your lives. And I do that by making these videos, passing on information, giving opinions on certain subjects, sharing news articles with you. Any way that I can give you the information that you can use to make your life just a little better, because a little better is better than it is. And I'm going to give you a little story time today. If you've seen the video, the thumbnail, sorry, you already know this is the retelling of the Adam and Eve story. Now, if you're not from an Abrahamic religion, i.e. you don't know the original story of men on earth by Adam and Eve, this is going to be interesting for you. If you already are brought up in an Abrahamic religion, you know the story of Adam and Eve. If you're not particularly religious at all, I'm sure you've come across the story of Adam and Eve. I'm going to tell it from a better understanding that we have about male and female nature. So let's get into this. Okay, so the original story goes something along the lines of God created everything in the first 5 days, and on the 6th day he created Adam and he plonked him down in the Garden of Eden. Adam was made. He was set for life. This was brilliant. He had everything he needed. There was no predators that were going to harm him. Everybody lived in peace and harmony. He with all of the big creatures and the small creatures. Nothing wanted to bite him, nibble on him, chew him, have him as breakfast. They all lived peacefully together. All of his needs were met. He had a bountiful amount of food. It was the Garden of Eden. He had a bountiful amount to drink. All he had to do was just exist. Adam had it made. It was brilliant. And here's where the story is going to slightly change from the Bible. So God has created Adam. He's plonked him down in the Garden of Eden and he said, get on with it, enjoy yourself. And Adam is absolutely made up. He becomes aware of himself, he explores his surroundings, he sees that nothing is trying to eat him, he sees that he has plenty to eat, everything he eats is pretty damn good for him. God has said to him, oh, by the way, you see that tree over there with that fruit on? You don't eat that. That's the tree of knowledge, and you eat that, I'm kicking you out. Life's going to get tough. You don't touch that. And Adam's like, oh, okay. You know, Adam's a good little soul. He does as he's told. He goes, yeah, sure. So he avoids it. Anyway, God looks down after a while of leaving Adam on his own, and he sees them there laying out in the beautiful sunshine, because every day is the perfect day in the Garden of Eden. And Adam's just laying back, probably, in my mind, he's stroking a jaguar, and he's thinking who's laying next to him purring like a house cat, you know, and there's a wolf that side, you know, licking its paw, and he's just happy with the animals and that. But he's not achieving anything, he's not doing anything. And God goes, this is what I intended. I wanted him to do stuff, you know, I mean, I wanted, come on, monkey boy, dance. And he's like, no, he's not doing anything. He's just relaxing. He's happy, because that's man's natural state, to be content. That's all we ever want in life, is to be content, to be happy. And Adam was. God thinks, he needs a bit of motivation. He needs a little bit of chaos in his life. So when Adam's asleep, he comes down and he takes one of Adam's ribs, and from that rib he creates Eve, his polar opposite. Instead of him being absolutely relaxed and absolutely at peace, Eve comes along, an agent of chaos, puts chaos into his life, because God's, you know, is omnipresent and he's never wrong, and he's realised that Adam needs a bit of chaos, a kick up the backside to get him motivated for doing something. So he created Eve. They first meet. Adam, who the heck are you? I've not seen you in the Garden of Eden before. And she's like, I don't know who I am or what I am. All I know is that I am now. And oh my word, what's that? And why is it sticking out? And he goes, well, actually, I was just wondering why you've got different shape to me. And And it actually looks like your shape is like an opposite shape to my jigsaw puzzle, and we fit them together. I wonder if that's what we're supposed to do. So not only did they explore the Garden of Eden together now, they explored each other and found that they had a whale of a time. This was really interesting. They had no word for it, but what they were doing was great fun. So they made words up for all the things. Let's be honest, Adam, his job was to name all of the animals. So whilst he was sat there before, stroking a jaguar, watching a wolf lick its paws, he gave them those names. That was his job. So now he's got Eve to deal with, and her slightly chaotic nature. Now Adam has told her what God said, and God's reiterated his one command he had for them. See that tree over there? That's the tree of knowledge. You see the fruit hanging from it? You don't touch that. Do not touch that fruit. Well, Adam, he was a good little boy, and he was like, okay, yeah, and he's left it alone. It's like a red rag to a bull when you tell a woman not to do something. It's like saying to a child not to do something. Now all of a sudden it's super attractive, and because she's a woman and she's an agent of chaos, and because her chaotic nature and liking a bit of drama, she keeps getting closer and closer to this tree as the days go by, until in the end she's climbing up the branches of this tree. She's examining it. Well, it doesn't seem any different from any of the other trees, except the fruit's slightly different. Till one fateful day, she plucks one of those pieces of fruit, which we're told is an apple, but we're also told that that's a bad translation from earlier text, and it's supposed to be a pomegranate. Whichever fruit it is, we'll go with apple because that's the one that most of us know it to be. And she plucks it and she sniffs it and she licks it, thinking, well, I've not actually technically eaten it, I've not bit it or anything, you know, I'm just checking it out just in case God's watching. And then she takes the ultimate gamble. She takes a big bite out of this apple and she goes, oh, this tastes delicious. And as she swallows it, she instantly gets knowledge. She feels shame for her nakedness. This is what the Bible tells us. But at the same time of feeling shame, she realises what women have always realised, is there's going to be a consequence to this. And in this case, it's the big boss. He's going to be the one dealing out the consequences. Oh God, I'm going to be standing alone in front of God trying to explain what I did, the one thing he told me not to do. And like women have throughout the centuries, she decides she needs an accomplice. So she goes and finds Adam. He's probably sat under a tree watching. She goes, here, I'll have something to eat. And he's, oh, thanks. Didn't even look, grabbed it, took a bite. As soon as he swallows it, he gets instant knowledge. He himself is ashamed of his nakedness. He's getting knowledge. He looks down at his hand and goes, what did you give me to eat? And she goes, it was from that tree over there. You mean the one tree that we were told not to eat everything? We've got an abundance of everything. We've got a settled life. We're enjoying each other. Oh, and by the way, now I've got knowledge. It's called sex. We've got all of this abundance and everything. And the one thing you were told by God, do not do, you've gone and done. And now you've got me lumbered in on it as well because you gave it to me and I took a bite without knowing what it was. Thanks very much. You've screwed it up. Well, when God comes and he starts punishing us, oh, you're on your own. What do you mean I'm on my own? No, you'll stand by me, won't you? I mean, let's be honest, the sex is good. Yeah, the sex is fine, but I can do without it. I was happy here before you came along, and I will be happy after you've been kicked out of the Garden of Eden, because I did nothing wrong. And I shall tell him, I shall say, I didn't know. She gave me this apple. She was the one who plucked it. She was the one who took a bite from it. So now she starts panicking, and like women have done through the centuries and through the ages, she doesn't want to face the possibility of something bad happening on her own, and also she doesn't want to have to face the consequences of her actions. She doesn't want to be held responsible. Oh, by the way, if you can hear fireworks, yes, it's the weekend of the Guy Fawkes, so yeah, that's all that is. So anyway, she's racking her brain going, and oh, I know. And she says, well, you can't let me stand on my own and get kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And he goes, why not? Why won't I? I mean, you know, like I say, I'll be all right. It's okay. You know, the sex was nice and all that. Thanks very much. But I can go without it. She goes, yeah, but I'm pregnant. And that was the first baby trap in history. He's like, well, what's that? Oh, hang on, no, I know what it means now. I've had the fruit from the tree of knowledge. I know what you're talking about. So you're with child and it's mine. And oh, you're right, I can't let you stand on your own. Okay, when God comes and he rips the strip off, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm just going to stand by you because, you know, Adam was a decent guy. He's okay, I'm going to stand by you. But you know what? This isn't going to end well. I bet those kids are messed up because you ate that fruit of life. So when God comes down, he goes, what on earth have you been playing at, Adam? I told you, don't touch the tree of life. Do not eat the fruit off that tree of life because you're going to get knowledge. And now you are. And now you know shame. And Adam did what any white knight does. He took the blame for Eve's mistake, for what she did. Well, it wasn't even a mistake. It was a deliberate act. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, God. He said, I was just too curious, I was, God. And I took a bite off it. And Eve took a bite. Well, that's it. He says, get both of you. Get out of the Garden of Eden. Because I'm sure that Eve would have liked to have stayed in the Garden of Eden. But Adam thought he was doing the right thing. And not only did he say, I was the one who took the bite out of the apple. He said that Eve, he put her in it as well. Only by being honest. Only by being ordered. I think if Eve was given the choice in the matter, she would have let Adam take all the blame and probably would have argued to stay in the Garden of Eden on her own. Because women are so strong and are so able if things are going well. So Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, all because that agent of chaos that gave Adam a kick in the backside to actually get off his backside and do something. And like I've said in previous videos, a little bit of chaos is a motivator. A whole bunch of it is just what it is, chaotic. It's too much drama to deal with. And Adam had to deal with too much drama and had to create a little bit of I think also God, because he's been told that he's omnipresent and he's never wrong and he knows everything, he knew the truth behind that story, because in the story of Adam and Eve, God isn't punishing Adam separately. He doesn't say, I'm kicking you out the Garden of Eden and I'm going to make it that your todger is extremely sensitive and drags on the floor so you're constantly in pain. No, he doesn't do that. Adam's punishment is to be kicked out of the Garden of Eden. But God knows that it was Eve who was the temptress, who was the one. And also, Eve tried to explain it to Adam by saying, it was a snake that made me do it. What? Said Adam. What are you talking about? Have you lost your marbles? I've lived here long before you got here, and there are no animals that actually communicate with us. I mean, they will let us pet them and that, but they don't talk. What are you talking? Ah, yeah, well, it was a special snake. Hey, look, I know all of the animals in the Garden of Eden. I named them all. There is no... Yeah, but this one spoke to me and it told me I should eat the... You know, you're not sounding very sane at the moment. You're telling me, let me get this story straight, Eve, you're telling me the only reason you ate something that God specifically told you not to touch is because a talking snake came and told you to eat it. Since when have you listened to animals for advice? Since when have you done that? Because I'm starting to worry about this relationship now. I'm starting to worry about your mental faculties. If that's what you're doing, taking your advice from snakes, mythical snakes that I've never come across because I named all the animals, so I would know that there was one of them actually spoke to us. I think there's something else going on here. That's why I'm going to let you get kicked out on your own. You can't, I'm pregnant. That's when she pulled the pregnancy card. That's when she baby trapped her. Poor old Adam. And since that day, men have had to put up with women's chaos going from one generation to the next, and we've had to put up with the drama that they create. And if there is no drama, if the life's a little bit too settled for these women, all of a sudden they'll create some drama. They will bring a third party in to create the drama. Anyway, do you like my retelling of Adam and Eve? Because in that story, as I said, God didn't separately punish Adam. He punished them as a whole, but then picked out Eve's part in it and said to her, because of that, you're going to have to suffer every month the pain of being fertile to have, and you're going to have to suffer the pain of childbirth because of your original sin. And that's what they say about Adam and Eve, that was the original sin. God knew this, but of course, because Adam stood by her side, because she baby trapped him, he got punished as well and kicked out of the Garden of Eden, where he had it made. But God knew what he was doing, because he knew that that was what the motivation he needed to get off his backside and actually do something with his life. So do you like my retelling of Adam and Eve? I hope you got a giggle away with the way I play acted it out, but I was talking about it, about what we know about the nature of, like I say, the nature of man is order. That's what we want. We want to be settled. But too much order is stagnation. So we need a little bit of chaos, and the nature of woman is to be chaotic. But too much chaos is destruction. And women are now in a very destructive age because we're not able to influence our order. Because society in general, in other words, the hierarchy of our society, so the businesses, the finance, the government and that, are siding with the chaos. And we men can see the end result of this, and we're walking away and going, not for me, thanks. Nope, nope, I'm out of this game. The deck's stacked and I don't want anything to do with it. Anyway, you guys, you take care of yourself, because if you don't, who will? I'm going for a cup of tea because I think I've earned one. After story time. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. And if you did, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell notification because, well, as I've said many times, for some reason only known to YouTube, the two only work together. Also, on the way up from there, give me a like. Also, tell me in the comment section, did you enjoy the story? Did you get a laugh out of it? Did you get a new perspective? If so, let me know. If you didn't, if you thought it was absolute rubbish and I'm talking out my backside, also tell me in the comments down below. As I said, I'm going for a cup of tea because I think I've earned one. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.